What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I was going to make this video a little bit ago, but I'm actually glad I waited because today is Vasyl Lomachenko's birthday. He turns 26, so happy birthday to Lomachenko. And I was going to make a video about him, and now it just all kind of ties in because it's his birthday. So make sure you wish him a happy birthday. Now, for those of you who may not know of Lomachenko, he has a very extensive amateur background. They say his record is 396 wins with only one loss. And he's also in his amateur career beat the likes of Felix Verdejo, who is an up-and-coming Puerto Rican prospect who top rank recently signed. So I look for good things from both fighters. And he also cites that Felix Verdejo was his biggest challenge, I guess, in the amateurs, which is good. And it's a testament to Felix and his future. So I'm really looking forward to both guys coming into their own. Now, as far as Lomachenko, he's definitely ambitious. Again, 26. He has a lot of amateur experience. He has gold medals. I think he got one in London and wherever else. So he got them at the Olympics. He got his gold medals. And he looks like one of the Olympic gold medalists slash amateur standouts who has the style to compete and transition well into the pro game. Now, the only person that I can think of that was being revered as a top amateur standout recently that perhaps didn't live up to the expectation is Zhao Shiming. I just don't see him as being a world beater. They said he's almost ready for a world title fight, but I just don't see the vision. But you got other guys like Gennady Golovkin, who's just plowing through his competition. Not necessarily the top three middleweights, but I mean, he's looking good in his fights, and it looks like he's learning on the job and transitioning very well with his power and his style into the pros. You also have Felix Verdejo, who's shaking up and making some noise. And obviously you have Guillermo Rigondeaux, who dethroned Nonito Donaire, who was on a ridiculous win streak. So he looked good in that fight. And what I'm noticing is you're seeing these amateur standouts with this amateur pedigree who are coming in and doing well, doing exceptionally well and transitioning very well in the pro game. Like Rigondeaux, he's 11, 12 fights into his pro career, and you already knocked off someone who was in top 10 pound for pound list. Now, I know pound for pound lists are subjective, but still, it's a huge accomplishment for someone with so little professional experience. Now, it looks like Lomachenko is trying to one-up Rigondeaux, and in his second fight, he's going to fight Orlando Salido. So I guess when Lomachenko and his team were looking for a promoter or promotional company to really endorse him and push him and to sign with, one of the stipulations was they wanted Lomachenko to move fast. They didn't want to have to wait. If you look at other fighters, like look at the Money Team, some of the up-and-coming prospects, they're fighting stiffs, you know what I mean, the cast of Thriller, Zombies. And I'm not disrespecting, this is a normal pattern. Even Mike Tyson, the great Mike Tyson, most of the opponents that he fought in the first year, granted he fought like 19 to 22 opponents or whatever it was in his first year as a pro, most of them never went on to be shit in the heavyweight division. So it was great on-the-job experience. Let Tyson test out some things, get the pro experience, etc. But with Lomachenko, again, one of the stipulations was that they move him fast. So, like, again, with the Money Team, you look at Luis Cuba Arias, different fighters like that. They're fighting these soft-touch opponents, maybe doing 4, 6, or 8 rounds. Lomachenko's first pro fight was against Jose Ramirez. It was on the Marquez Timothy Bradley undercard, and it was scheduled 10 rounds, which is impressive because, again, you look at other amateur standouts and medalists like Zhao Shiming, and I believe his first fights were like probably 4 to 6 rounds. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head, but they weren't 10-round bouts. And again, a lot of fighters and a lot of camps, they test the water basically. They test the water with their fighter, even though they know their fighter was an amateur standout. They want to give them the pro experience because I made a video about this sometime last year. The amateurs and the pros, totally different ball game. It's like the minors and the majors. What you experience in the minors can help groom and prepare you, but it's still not the same as professional, just any professional sport. And I'm pretty sure it's the same with most sports. College football versus NFL football, totally different. I forgot what player it was, but one of the players said that he was in college. He said being in college football is like driving through residential, 25 miles per hour or whatnot. He said being in the NFL after he got signed was like driving on the freeway with accidents and all kinds of stuff. So that was a great analogy in my opinion, because everything's full speed ahead. It's a different ball game, and boxing is a one-on-one contact sport, so it's definitely no different. At least football, you have a team, you have different positions like linemen who protect quarterbacks and stuff. So you can see people like Tebow who have a great college career, and then they go into the NFL and they don't really, it's short lived, or, I mean, Tebow's doing arena football now. So when you put a combat sport one on one, a brutal sport where one punch can change the course of events, or you could get hurt, you can get injured, you can die, different ball game. And you have to get used to the amateur scoring system, how you accrue points. You could simply outwork, have a higher volume, and beat an opponent. Plus, you got the headgear and you have the bigger gloves. So coming in the pros, you could seriously get hurt. So it's definitely a bold and brazen move from Team Lomachenko. From what I'm seeing, he looks like he might have the goods. Again, beating Felix Verdejo, having that much amateur experience, I think, in essence, with certain fighters, if they have the intangibles, it's going to transition well. And to have 396 fights with one loss, I mean, that's pretty remarkable. You look at Rigondeaux and you look at the Gennady Golovkin, they also had a ton of amateur experience. But the difference is those guys are a little bit older for the sport of boxing, not old in general, but boxers age in like damn near dog years. So Lomachenko is a young 26 to have that much experience. So I think he's definitely learned a lot. Again, very bold move from his camp to move him through so rapidly and put him in his second fight. He's going to be fighting Orlando Salido, which is impressive. Now, some people might look at the fight with Mikey Garcia, who knocked Orlando Salido down, I believe, 4 times, and he made it look easy. But a fight with Salido is not easy, especially when you don't have the experience. And if you look at Mikey Garcia's journey, far different. They moved him along kind of slowly, a little bit better competition. And then since Salido has been full speed ahead, he's had some bigger names on his resume. Juanma Lopez, Rocky Martinez, who was a champion, Juan Carlos Burgos, etc. And they're trying to make a Gamboa fight. So it was just steady or slow sailing for Mikey Garcia at first. And then once he got to his world title fight in a Salido bout, then he's been keeping that momentum and that pace. But Lomachenko, again, this is his second fucking fight. You got to give the man props. To me, the move is very brave and it's very bold. And it's going to work one of two ways. Like they said on Don't Be a Menace. You either swim or you bound to drizzle. Like, I mean, it's either sink or swim. Either he's going to make the necessary adjustments and deal with whatever Orlando Salido dishes out and win in a convincing fashion, or he's going to try to move, or for trying to move too far, too fast, he's going to pay the consequence. And I guess we have to wait till March 1st, I believe it is, to see. But I'm really looking forward to this fight. This is going to be a huge statement if he can do something with Salido in his second fight. Because you got to keep in mind, some fighters in boxing are way better than their records suggest. And you look at a guy like Salido, you can be like, oh, he has losses. But look who he's fought. He fought Juan Manuel Marquez. He's fought Yuriorkis Gamboa. He has experience with southpaws. He beat the brakes off of Juanma Lopez twice in Puerto Rico. As you guys know, Juanma is Puerto Rican, so he had the crowd advantage, obviously. And he was the fighter that everyone was projecting to win, and Orlando Salido pulled the upset twice. So that shows you that he can deal with a powerful southpaw. Lomachenko, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier in the video, but he is also a southpaw. So as far as Lomachenko, what I like about him is he's aggressive. In the Ramirez fight, I like the body work. I like the commitment to the body. I think the jab and effective, consistent body work is kind of an underrated or lost art in the sport of boxing. Not everyone does it. A lot of people headhunt, especially young fighters. You look at young fighters and they just immediately go for the head. It looks like the target that has the most impact. But the great Roy Jones Jr. always suggests that you can recover from a headshot, but go to the body and you're not going to necessarily recover the same way. It'll take the life out of you. And body shots can be paralyzing. I seen it in the Amir Khan fight versus Marcos Maidana. Maidana looked like he was in excruciating pain in the first round. That's when both fighters are at their freshest. So props to Amir Khan for that vicious body shot. You look at Matthew Macklin versus Gennady Golovkin. He looked like he was just in pain. He couldn't. He was paralyzed. He was just on the ground in agonizing pain. Look at Mikey Garcia versus Rocky Martinez, a tough fighter, a tough opponent who shows that he's tough, and he's fought the likes of the Juan Carlos Borgoses, and Mikey Garcia was able to stop him with the body shot. So time and time and history shows that the body shots are some of the hardest to recover from. Ricky Hatton, when he fought Sinchenko, he was off of a long layoff or whatnot, but he looked good earlier in the fight, and it was just that body shot which did him in and caused him to lose the fight. He just couldn't recover from it, and that's exactly what you do when the fighter's off a long layoff. Anyway, without getting too far off track, I'm liking what I've seen from Lomachenko and the stuff I've read, seen some highlights, and he, like I said, he looks like he has the style to transition to the pros well. It looks like he has power in terms of his frame. I heard he's 5'7". BoxRec had him as 5'6.5", but he's big. He looks big for his size. Like if you look at his frame, him and Mikey Garcia look big for 126. So that's obviously a strength. Being a southpaw, a lot of orthodox fighters don't like fighting southpaws. He committed to the body in the Ramirez fight, so if he keeps that up, he controls the distance well, amateur experience. So he looks like he has the potential to be a threat and a force in his division. So Top Rank's going to move him along fast. Like I said, I props to him. He has tremendous balls. Going against an Orlando Salido in only his second fight without that many. And that's just a testament of his team and his confidence. I mean, obviously you have to be confident to go in against an Orlando Salido. Again, another fighter who his resume is thick and his record probably doesn't do him any justice. To me, when I look at Orlando Salido, I look at him as the type of fighter where if you underestimate him, you will lose. If you take him lightly, you will lose. He's going to be a tough customer through and throughout. There's certain guys that are they're tough fights. Jesus Soto Caras, I look at Orlando Salido, Daniel Ponce de Leon. I look at these types of fighters and they're a tough match no matter who they're in with. If they win, if they lose, no matter what, they're still a tough fight. So I'm really anxious to see what Lomachenko looks like, if he has the actual skills, and if he makes a statement against Salido, that's huge. If he loses, I mean, that's going to be a huge blow to his career because he tried to move up too fast. And we've seen it both ways. We've seen Adrian Broner, who thought he could just jump up 2 weight classes and defeat a Marcos Maidana, a power puncher, without head movement or using his legs. And it showed in the Broner fight that one of the assets as far as a pro is concerned is that experience. You look at Broner, who obviously tries to emulate Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather gradually moved up and transitioned and gained the experience, the necessary experience to be in the position that he's in. And if it weren't for the adversity that he faced with, like, if you look at Mayweather, a lot of people don't talk about this. I don't know why. But Mayweather versus Demarcus Corley, and I have an interview with Corley, so make sure you check that on the channel. Great dude. But if you watch that fight, I believe that was Mayweather's first fight at the weight division. I think it was 35. I don't remember off the top of my head. But if you look at the Mayweather-Demarcus Corley fight, Mayweather was moving up in weight, and Corley had him shook and had him bothered and hurt and buzzed, or whatever you want to call it, in that fight. And to me, it is those types of experiences, or Mayweather versus Shane Mosley, where he's rocked, I think, twice in the second round, and he had to battle and bite down and show heart, show he had chin and good conditioning, and went on to beat Mosley and went on to beat Demarcus Corley. It's those types of experiences that no sparring session, no training no reading of a book or online tutorial is going to be able to prepare you for. So a great fighter can meet all the challenges and adapt. So we'll see what Lomachenko's made of. Again, he doesn't have those pro experiences with those gloves to suggest that he can adapt. So he's just going to be immediately, it's straight up Alonzo and Jake in Training Day. Like, he just immediately thrown into the shit. Denzel had him in LA alleys and with Mexican gangs. Like, simple question, eh? You ever had your shit pushed in? I've had my shit pushed in. That's my movie. Training Day is my movie. But either he's going to get his shit pushed in or he's not going to get his shit pushed in. As far as Lomachenko, he's just being thrown to the wolves by his own admission. He wants it this way. So, again, props to Lomachenko for just being bold and brave and taking on a tough test. And we'll see in March how he looks against Salido. Like I said, if he beats Salido in a convincing, dominant fashion, or if he stops Salido, that's a huge accolade, because even Gamboa didn't stop Salido. You know what I mean? It went the distance. And Salido has a great resume, and again, that experience with Southpaws. So let me know what you guys think of Lomachenko. What have you heard? Did I miss anything? I heard recently he dropped his sparring partner. I think I read that. So let me know what you guys think of Lomachenko. Happy birthday, Lomachenko, who turns 26. Leave a comment. Let me know what you expect. Hopefully we get to see some great fights. Top Rank definitely has some action in the lower weight divisions. You could have a Felix Verdejo fight with Lomachenko, or rematch in the pros if they move Verdejo up right. A fight with Lomachenko in Rigondeaux would be explosive and action-packed. You got an aggressor with boxing fundamentals versus the masterclass boxer like Rigondeaux. You could throw Donaire in there if he's still serious about wanting to win. A lot of good matches. Gary Russell Jr., if he ever fights somebody who wasn't on the show, Glee. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different ways you can mix and match these guys. Let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.